Hi, my name is Denny Johnson, and you are invited to heal. Yes, this is an invitation to experience, learn, participate in, or distribute an unusual way to begin the process of healing ourselves, our families, our communities, our world. All the information that we're about to provide is for free. There are no products or no services for sale, and this really comes from a group of people from around the world who are dedicated to the experience of bringing healing to humanity. This particular process that we're about to explore is about how to accept the responsibility that all diseases have at least some degree of emotional content. And we'd like to offer to you the way to be able to use this, understand it, apply it to yourself. You may not feel that you personally need it right now, but I would suggest to you that if you were to practice this, you might find something to change for yourself and your children. By being able to comprehend how the laws of healing work, you'll recognize that everything that you do for yourself, you'll actually be doing for future generations of your own family. So the time to begin to heal is when you feel your best, transmitting the most possible feelings of play, laughter, joy, love to future generations by accepting the responsibility to begin to feel your own life, your own heart, your own body. This method of being able to work with this is called the RAYD method, R-A-Y-I-D. You're invited to follow along in this process. It's on Facebook, RAYD International Group. It's the invitation to heal. We're going to be doing this for a long time. There will be a whole series of these videos. This is the introduction. This is your invitation to begin. At first, if you want to just watch and read a little bit, practice a little bit, go ahead. But you should know from the outset, there are no claims of perfection in this. There are no panaceas to cure everything. This is a process that we are exploring and learning and feeling that has to do with things that are not verifiable by science. Science cannot confirm the existence of a spiritual body. Science cannot confirm the existence of a soul, a God. Science is a wonderful tool, but science will be a long time really comprehending what all of this could be about. So the only way it can work for you is if you, step by step, you look at it, you examine it, and you ask yourself, does this make any sense? Could it be possible that something like this might work for you or your family? There's not much risk involved in this. Nothing in here is going to hurt you. I can assure you the things that you're about to learn here are going to help you. That's from my own experience and the experience of many other people. I've seen many thousands of times this information affect people in a positive way. No, not everybody's had success. We've had many failures along the way, and we will continue to have more. But we're committed to learn how to do this over a period of time, no matter how long it takes. If it's a month, if it's a year, if it's 10 years, if it's 100 years, sooner or later, because of our desire to learn, apply, practice, share information like this, sooner or later, we will bring health, happiness, peace to ourselves, our families, and to this world that we love. Yes, we can transform everything. Not only education and medicine and finance and governments and everything else. Yes, the whole ecology of the world can shift just because we are willing to shift things inside of our own hearts. That's what this work is about. I'm going to give you an overview about this and show you what we're going to do and how this is going to be performed, and invite you to learn each basic step. There's lots of information. Many videos that you could look at about different parts of this, but this will be specifically about the healing. And you'll see those categories where it talks about healing, and you can follow only that timeline if you wish. So let me explain how this progresses. My beginning in this started about 35 years ago with the study of the iris of the eye. No, I'm not an iridologist. I'm one who looks at the iris of the eye to understand the soul and its relationship to the divine. For me, the iris of the eye is a snapshot or a blueprint, if you will, a window into the contents that we received at conception. These little red and blue circles and triangles, they're about genetic information that we received at conception. Yes, we receive a lot at conception. Generations of failure, pain, suffering, hatred, greed, violence, war after war after war in the last 130 years, which is about 3 generations. We have received enormous amounts of information inside of us. This pattern here I call the soul. Most of you believe in it. Science cannot confirm for you that it exists, so you have to ask yourself, do you believe that the soul actually exists? Call it whatever you want. Now, under this principle, the soul produces 2 things. Something called a spirit body, named by many other things, but this spirit body encompasses and surrounds a physical body. The spirit body and the physical body. The soul. 3 discrete different processes, 3 different experiences, and they respond to different types of laws. These 3, they create an attraction. Something inside the soul, operating through the spiritual body, communicating through the brain of the physical body, produces something called an attraction. This attraction produces a series of encounters with people. This just represents triangles are men, circles are women, and we have interactions with these people. We respond. We like, we don't like, we love, we hate, we marry, we divorce, we have kids, we don't, we suffer, we hurt, we store things inside of our body. These patterns that we have in the family, that we attract to us from the outside, all of these patterns, they're actually generated by the content of unresolved feelings inside the soul. This is an important principle to consider, a pivot point right here, that what happens to the physical body actually occurs as a result of what was arriving into the soul at conception. These are called causal feelings, causal memories. Now, everybody has a capacity for cancer. We all carry cancer cells. We all call cancer to us. We create difficulties inside of our bodies because of what we have. Now, I know it's not an easy thing to hear, that the environment does not kill us. It's not the chemical companies, it's not radiation, it's not the supplements or things that you didn't take, it's not the antibiotics, it's nothing that comes from the outside is the cause of why we suffer. The cause of why we suffer comes from inside. It's stored within the soul, processed within the spiritual body, and arrives into the physical body as a symptom. So every symptom we have is the result of our interactions with people. If I have anger or frustration or jealousy towards someone, this now produces a loop tape coming back in and causing symptoms in my body. Over a year, over 10 years, over a generation, these patterns build up. Over 3 generations, they can become quite strong. So I might have a genetic preorientation to a specific cancer in the liver. Many people do. I come out in the world, I meet somebody who triggers that same pattern in my own emotions, and I just have one experience of a very strong rage or hatred towards someone, and I ignite into my body, the genetic preorientation to cancer now becomes realized. This is the way we look at this. All cancers are the result of unresolved feelings. All suicides are the result of unresolved feelings. All accidents, all strokes, all heart attacks are actually the result of unresolved feelings. These feelings accumulate until they trigger the opportunity for the body to attack itself in some form or another. Now, we're also saying that these patterns have a corresponding pattern in the family tree. So the red ones are primarily from the father's family, the father, his parents, his grandparents, your great-grandparents, they make up these memories. Your mothers in the blue, fathers in the red, they come together, produce the opportunity for symptoms, and then what happens is the physical body begins to create a sequence of difficulties. Sometimes the difficulty begins in the foot, goes to the liver, goes to the brain. My own brother died this way. Sometimes it begins on the skin, and it goes in somewhere else. It goes to the bone. Sometimes it begins in the kidney, and then it goes to the pancreas or to the lung. This is how the processes work. But all of the sequences in here are predictable. Now, part of this is that we're going to show you how it works and then give you a tool to help you begin the process of changing this. How do you change it? We're going to explain how there is a flow of life force that comes through the father's family. There's a flow of life force that comes through the mother's family. If there are difficulties or breaks in these lines, you will get corresponding difficulties somewhere in the body. If you learn how to repair these lines, then you will learn how to begin the process of repairing your difficulties in your own body. Now, you can do some of this with your mind, you can do it with your imagination, you can begin to learn how to use all of the biochemical remedies of the body. Yes, there are many biochemical remedies. There are many vibrational remedies, and you can learn how to use different ones. But no true healing is going to occur that does not engage the experience of the soul. Yes, we can learn how to manipulate symptoms, change symptoms, and call that a cure. When in reality we've actually cured nothing, we've just kicked it down to the next generation to be stronger. Unless we accept the responsibility that the pain and suffering inside of us ends here. It ends with us. What good does it do us if we can change a symptom of cancer in our own body, but we go back to the same habits of emotions and behavior that created it? And we're automatically transmitting that destructive behavior onto future generations. So what good is it to live another month or a year or 10 years if we continue to destroy generations into the future? This is part of the process of beginning to understand that everything that we do has an effect on everyone. Not just our own families, but our communities, the ecological order of the world, the unity of things. So how do we change everything? We begin to change ourselves. So this is the invitation. This is not in great detail yet. We will go through line by line and explain certain things, and I'll show you how to begin this process of opening these gates that correspond to the father's side of the family and the mother's side of the family. You can do this quite quickly. This will be the very next one I start with, because this is capable of moving your symptoms regardless of the other therapies that you've chosen to use. If you're using chemotherapy, that's your choice. Now, add in a little something more. It's not a chemical, it's not a substance, it's not a supplement. It won't interfere in anything that you're doing. Show you how to open the healing channels inside the body. You can add that to anything that you might already be engaged in. This is the invitation. Come and join us.